Today we are discussing the EUR USD again ahead of today's Fed rate decision as it tries to break back above that October 2023 trend line. So let's go ahead and take a look here at this chart. And by the way, guys, before we get into today's video, if you guys want a broker you can trust, be sure to check out Blueberry Markets in the description of this video. I have a link down there. It is an affiliate link. However, you are going to get a 30% deposit bonus if you use that link. Plus, if you deposit $1,000 or more, I will grant you lifetime access to our VIP group. And furthermore, guys, you can trade Forex, crypto, commodities, and indices with them. I've trusted them for 7 years. They are a great group of people and an amazing broker. So be sure to check out that link in the description, or if you're on the website, scroll all the way down to the page and click on that link that says broker. All right, so let's take a look here, guys, at the EUR USD. So we've talked about this a couple of times this week, and you can see we have the big red candle here from the US election, right? This was a 250 pip drop, so a massive drop for this market. And it did put the market below a critical area here at 1.078. Now, what I said in yesterday's video, okay, I did not say, go short the market here. Instead, what I said is we have this large red candle and there was going to be an imbalance through here. So there was a good chance we see this filled in intraday, which is exactly what we're seeing here from the euro with this high into this candle, okay? So anytime you see a large candle like this, typically you do see it filled within the coming days. And if you don't, it does tend to serve as a magnet. Now, with this right here, okay, we don't yet have enough information to know if this is a reclaim or not. And the reason for that is, first of all, we have 4 hours left in today's session. And secondly, we do have FOMC coming up in about an hour. So I'm going to try to get this video out as soon as possible so you guys have access to this information as we move into that Fed rate decision. But expect volatility around that event. Okay, the worst thing you can do is, trade during FOMC. I think the best bet right here is, like I've mentioned, during the US election volatility. The same thing here with today's FOMC candle is just wait for this to close. Wait for this candle to close. See where we are in relation to 1.078. So really the two scenarios that we're looking at here, and I know a lot of, sometimes people criticize anytime you start talking about two scenarios for a market, but you have to weigh out both scenarios, especially with FOMC coming up. So the first one would be to see the EUR USD closing back above this critical area here. This is a confluence of what was support and it could be resistance. However, we don't know that yet. Again, we have 4 hours left and FOMC coming up. So where this candle closes in relation to 1.078 is going to be critical. So if I make this really simple, if the EUR USD can close above this area today, right, well above these lows back here and that trend line from October of last year, then that could potentially be bullish at least toward this imbalance up here, okay? Toward levels like 1.09 and potentially this high. Now, if it closes below this area, then 1.078 stays intact as resistance. And we're looking at a move down here toward some of these lows. Okay, so that's really the bottom line, guys, is it comes down to 1.078, in my opinion, as we roll into today's close in about 4 hours. So this could be a bullish reclaim. It might not. We just don't have enough information here to determine that. Now, let's take a look at the DXY, which is showing us something very similar to the EUR USD. So when we look at the DXY, this level up here, okay, that we've talked about, right around 104.5, this is the equivalent of 1.078 on the EUR USD. All right, so you can see back here, this was resistance. This was also our target, remember, on the close back above 102.60, right? This was the bottom of that channel that we've talked about. This right here was a bullish reclaim. Our target was 104.5. And what I've said throughout this entire period was that I like the idea of looking for shallow pullbacks following the 104.5 retest. So we did get, a relatively shallow pullback here before the move up here into this trend line. Now, another thing I talked about, guys, in yesterday's video, and hopefully this kept you guys away from trying to long the US dollar. I mean, first of all, you never want to long a market after it has done this in a single day. And again, we had FOMC coming up today, so really I was waiting for today's session to close up to see where the market stands. But the thing is, I talked about this yesterday, we have this trend line off of these highs from back here. So this alone should have kept you out of, trying to long the US dollar. If you were trying to long this market, the two places to do it here recently, there's a few places technically, but really it was this 102.6 reclaim and also this pullback right here into these highs. Now, this was, the US election, right before the US election. So obviously you probably wouldn't want to trade the markets, going into that kind of volatility. But these really, this is the area where you'd want to buy the market down here, not when it's coming into resistance up here like this, or even into support like this, knowing we have FOMC today. All right, so this is why timing is key, guys. And it's really hard to convey this in video sometimes, especially in, the blog posts that I put out. But patience is key here. And right now, you have a range for the DXY between this high up here and 104.5. If it does close below this, then we're looking at a run down here toward the low, and we could get that pullback into these highs, something a little bit deeper to take out the slowdown here and also fill in the gap that occurred with the US election volatility. Okay, so really it's going to come down to 104.5 here for the DXY. Close below this, we're looking at a run down here toward the lows, maybe take those out, give us a full retest down here before the bounce. And if we do close above 104.5, then we're still just looking at this range here for the DXY, right? So patience is key right now, guys. Just, a range bound market at the moment as it comes into this trendline resistance, and also trades, at least on a daily closing basis, above 104.5, and also this area down here around 103. Okay, so really, if you sum this up, you've got range high up here, range low down here. Your mid-range right now is right around 104.5. All right, but if we circle back here to the EUR USD, just to kind of wrap up, I think it's going to come down to 1.078. Really, that's the key level here for the EUR USD as we go into today's close. Above this level on the daily chart, and we're looking at higher levels potentially. Below it, and we're looking at that move lower. Just don't get overly ambitious here, guys, because I think that, right now with the DXY, even if we see the EUR USD reclaim this into the weekly close and come up here towards some of these levels, with the DXY above 102.6, like I've said over the past few weeks, I would be looking for something very short term if we do get a bullish move from this market. I think that, ultimately the EUR USD is probably headed higher while the DXY is above 102.6. But with that said, it doesn't mean we can't see this market come up here and take out some of these imbalances and potentially even this high that occurred on that US election volatility. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell for notifications. Don't forget to join us in VIP. Claim your 90% off lifetime access. See the link in the description of this video, or if you're on the website, click on that join VIP link. I will see you on the inside. Be careful with today's FOMC, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.